The following is a presentation of the Hello Chicago Network.
Hello, Chicago Network is on the air. Hello, everybody. I am Ryan Yanishatis, and it is time to focus for this Friday, November the 7th. Don't forget to like this video if you like what you hear. Comment, as always, as we're talking Chicago sports. Don't forget to subscribe to the Hello Chicago Network YouTube channel. Been asking for a while. We're at 39 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button. Be the 40th. You may win a prize, maybe. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much for everyone that tunes in. Let's start this thing off. We got to start it off. What a game, what a ride. And we're going to get to it in just a brief second because I can't find the proper open. Here it is. Let's start off with some Bulls focus. What a crazy game the other night. I mean, the Bulls come out, they play terrible in the first half. I got to watch the first half at home and I'm like, okay, this game, it's going ugly. You're already starting to look like, okay, this team's going to be 5-2. They had a great start. Is this the real Bulls team? Okay. Then I leave for work. I get some stuff done there. I check it again around fourth quarter. Bulls are only down by 2. Or maybe it was even down by 1. Then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I got to see the end of this game. Then you see the missed opportunity by the Bulls. Sixers go down there a 3. That was an air ball, timeout. Bulls get it. Josh Giddey then gets the ball, finds Nikola Vucevic in the corner, shoots the 3. Bulls win 113-111. It was a tale of two halves for the Chicago Bulls. They didn't play well in the first half, and it just seems like everything with Tyrese Maxey played a phenomenal first half. And then you look in the second half, and the Sixers just were not the same team. I think they scored almost 80 points in the first half. They scored 40 something in the second half. That tells you the Bulls defense hunkered down. And their offense started to step up, and you saw this team play really smart basketball, and they're now 6-1. And I don't know how many times I can come on here and tell you this coming into a show, but the Bulls are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. First time in over 4.5 years of this show. Bulls are the best team in the East. I believe they're tied. The Thunder lost their first game this week, so I believe the Bulls are tied for that best record. Anywho, you don't want to look at it that way. Like I said, the goal for this Bulls team this year is to have a playoff spot and be able to just watch the play-in and get ready for the first round. That's the goal this year. And I mean, Kobe White, the good news is it seems like around the timetable I said by Thanksgiving, I mean, next week he's going to practice, following week should be ready to go. So about 2 more weeks. So we're a little less than 3 weeks from Thanksgiving. So right around there. And I think hopefully Ayo comes back. Everyone's been contributing. This team has been fun. It's been very fun to watch this Bulls team, and so far so good. So they win 113-111, 6-1, and the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference going into the weekend. Now let's preview the weekend. They're going to have their second Emirates Cup game tonight in Milwaukee at the Bucks, 7 p.m. on the Chicago Sports Network. Now the Cup isn't always. I mean, the Bulls have usually been with some very tough teams, and they've struggled in those games. But they're 1-0. They beat the Knicks last Friday. So if they win this one, you start to talk about, of course, the in-season tournament happens in Vegas in December. You win this one, you start to look at this being a possibility. And I do think it's over dramatized. I think it's kind of dumb. But for the Bulls, they're playing good right now. If this gives them more motivation, go ahead. I mean, you obviously got to deal with Giannis Antetokounmpo, but you'd love to go it. So we'll see if the Bulls can do it. And I'm sure they can get Fiserv North. Get some Bulls fans in there as well. So Friday at the Bucks, and Saturday they'll be at the Cavs, a Cavs team that's not playing the best right now, but they're still a really good team. They have Donovan Mitchell, and that'll be a 7 p.m. start as well. So 2 games on the road, not much traveling, Milwaukee and Cleveland, but we'll see if they'll, I believe this is their first back-to-back this season. So we'll see how they handle that as well. They are 6-1 and first place in the Eastern Conference. We're taking a time out here on Hello Chicago Network. When we come back, we're going to focus on the Chicago Blackhawks. That's next on the Hello Chicago Network. Team already, I wake up, I'm like, okay, already counting it a win for the Bears. All of a sudden, Joe Flacco goes down and has a career day, almost 500 yards, gets the touchdown, good. Then they get the onside kick. The reason they get it didn't go 10 yards, but it goes off one of the Bears, so therefore it is their ball. Go down, score again. It is a Cincinnati Bengals lead, something Bear fans have experienced so much in their fandom is games like this, and this game is over. I text people. I was talking to Brandon, who of course raised the bar TV. We'll talk about that in a second. But talking to him and took him off my block list, and I'm like, this season's over. I said they had to win this week and win next week for this team to have any chance of thinking playoffs. Then what does Caleb Williams do? Gets down there. Then all of a sudden, to Colston Loveland, his second touchdown of the game in a play where it looked like he was just going to get tackled and we're going to get a field goal. No, there are three guys there. He gets through it, gets it in. Bears win.
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. I said the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
All right, we're back here on the Hello Chicago Network. Of course, the Hello Chicago Rewind, always usually showing you something that happened in the prior show. So that took place on Monday. Talking about a great Bears win. We'll be talking about the Bears in the third segment. But now we're in segment 2. We'd like to talk a little Blackhawks. Let's recap 2 games that this week for the Blackhawks. The never-ending West Coast road trip still going on. Monday they lose to the Kraken 3-1. Wednesday they get a win over the Vancouver Canucks 5-2. Monday it was kind of a tight game early on. Then all of a sudden the Kraken were able to answer back, able to get in there and get the victory. And Blackhawks played very well. I believe Todd Bertuzzi got a hat trick in this game. So the Blackhawks get the W there. Let's preview the weekend for the Hawks. This long, never-ending West Coast road trip will conclude on tonight at the Flames. That's an 8 p.m. start on the Chicago Sports Network. And then Sunday, they'll be at the Red Wings, a noon start. They're starting the same time as the Bears. So we'll see how that goes. But again, Detroit, always that rivalry. Of course, now they're in the Eastern Conference. Originally, we're, of course, in the Western Conference. But we'll see how that goes as well. So you got the Calgary Flames, which remember those Jerome McGinley or when the early Blackhawks Stanley Cup teams like 2010, and then the years they were unable to get over the hump. To remember that was the team. That was the Calgary Flames in the Saddle Dome, and just how well they were able to band together. And I believe that was one of the teams. I don't know if the Hawks ever did. It was them and the Vancouver Canucks with the Sedin brothers. That's when that was my peak of hockey. And then so they'll be at Calgary. It's an 8 p.m. start. A lot of sport. Three of the four active teams right now are in action tonight. So I guess I know what my Friday night looks like. And then, like I said, Sunday, a noon start at Detroit against the Red Wings. So I don't know if the Lions are. They have a 325 against the Commanders. I believe the Commanders are home. So I was going to say that would, unless that's why they're doing that game. And because I know it's a 325. Let's see. I believe it's in DC or in Washington. Yeah, because I was gonna say, I've always been a fan of this when all the stadiums are kind of close to each other, and Ford Field and Comerica Park are across the street, and you just got to walk a little bit, and you get the Little Caesars Arena. So, but they don't have to worry about that because Detroit is on the road. And go Commanders, even though their season's falling apart. So the Blackhawks lose Monday to the Kraken. And then Wednesday, they beat the Canucks 5-2. Let's take a look. I mean, way too early, but we're going to enjoy this. We're going to enjoy Chicago sports being teams that are in the playoff race because we haven't had this much. We're usually all of our teams are out of it by this time already. Let's see here. Wild card wise, Blackhawks have 15 points. They're a point behind the second wild card of the Kings, and they're 2 behind the 1 of the Dallas Stars. So I mean, they're 6-5-3. They're playing good hockey. So hopefully they can continue that momentum, and we continue to. I'm waiting to watch that other shoe drop, but I mean, you're seeing this team play well early on, and that's something we haven't seen. So Blackhawks at the Flames tonight, at the Red Wings Sunday afternoon. We'll have a recap, of course, of those coming up on our Monday edition. We'll take a time out here on Hello Chicago Network. When we come back, we'll have a Wildcats focus. They played tonight, and of course, we'll preview the Bears to close out the week as they get ready for is it a must-win game? We'll find out. But first, it's time to focus. We got some hardware to give out for the Chicago Cubs defensively. We're going to take a look at that. That's right now in the most important focus of the day, the Ryan Focus. You saw right there. Congratulations to Pete Crow Armstrong, Ian Happ, Nico Horner on getting their gold gloves. And I'm not going to address the Shota Imanaga stuff until it's official that he's gone. And then they just put out yesterday. They just gave out the qualifying offer for him and Tucker. Tucker's obviously going to reject it. But starting next week, the Ryan's focuses through Thanksgiving are going to be my prediction of where guys are going to go. It's called the free agent pool. I did episodes on this throughout the year, but again, we're only focusing on Chicago sports, so we're going to do those in the Ryan Focus starting next week. Also, we saw a clip earlier. The boys are back in town on Raise the Bar TV. That is Ryan, or that is Brandon, that is Anthony. They are back. They're doing their thing every Tuesday and Thursday on Raise the Bar TV, 9 p.m. Chicago sports. So their first week back, and I got to deal with them starting this weekend as they're back on Ringside Report. We're going to be rewinding John Cena's best 2025 matches in his final year. So stay tuned for that Saturday, Sunday at noon Central. Now it's time for a Northwestern focus. Northwestern back at it. They're going to be facing a ranked team for the first time. They're going to be facing the USC, and it's They actually talked about this game a lot during the World Series because during the big ones, because that'll be a Fox game at 8 p.m. tonight against USC. Northwestern obviously trying to get back in there. They're about 2 wins for sure away from, can we get a bowl game? That's something we haven't seen since we covered this team either. So looking for that kind of excitement from this Northwestern Wildcat team. Can Preston Stone continue it up? Can Komolafe continue to be a great running back with Cam Porter out for the season? So, I mean, this team has been fun. They are facing a ranked team. Stay in this game. You have a chance to make yourself noticed, and hopefully that'll be the case. They have a couple games coming up at Wrigley. So, I mean, all this fun stuff should be exciting. But Northwestern will be at USC. That is coming up tonight, and we'll have a full recap of that coming up on Monday's show. Again, Monday's show going to be stacked. We have a full weekend of Chicago sports, and especially Friday. So immediately after this, I gotta get some dinner and focus on watching all this stuff at one time. Okay, now it's time to focus on the Chicago Bears to close it out. Okay, let's focus on those Chicago Bears. They're going to be in action against the New York Giants. Bears did acquire one guy on defense over during the trade deadline, but I think right now you just got to focus on what this team is. You got to continue that momentum. Just a game that you probably should have lost. You should have won going in, but once the game was played, they should have lost it. They should have won to start. Then they should have won. Then you get to that fourth quarter, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Joe Flacco goes crazy, and then you should have won there. Then with a minute left, Flacco able to get they got 13 points in a couple of minutes. Bears are losing. Great play by Caleb Williams to Colston Loveland. And the Bears now, by the way, Colston Loveland was the Slime Time Player of the Week or whatever they call it. He got slimed during practice. So, I mean, the vibes are loose there at Hallis Hall, and hopefully they'll continue to do that because, like I said, they needed to beat the Bengals and they needed to beat the Giants to really start to have any potential talks of a playoff team. So we'll see if they'll be able to do. They win this one, you can slowly start to see the Bears are in the hunt. Then they start facing some division rivals. They have Minnesota next week. So I think you got to win this one. Don't overlook them. The Packers' 2 losses this year to Cleveland and the Panthers. Do not overlook these kind of teams. You got to take advantage. Yes, they have the young Jackson Dart as their quarterback. They're with Scatabo. He's out. Neighbors is out. This isn't a healthy Giants team, but as long as you keep the quarterback quiet, I think the Bears should be able to win this game. This is a noon start on Fox. Should be a fun, exciting game as the Bears try to go to 6-3. Before they really get into the portion of the schedule where we're going to see if this Bears team is a playoff contender or if they're going to be just a step short, try to sneak it. I mean, you talk about wild card. They're only a game out, and the Packers this week play the Eagles, I believe, Monday Night Football. So a lot of things could be told this week. Where and then the Lions play the Commanders. Not sure where the Vikings are at, but should be a fun weekend of Bear football, and we'll open up the show Monday with that as well. Monday, we'll recap the Bears, Northwestern to kick it off. We'll talk about the Bulls and Blackhawks. So we will keep you all up to date on what it is going to be a busy Chicago sports weekend. So stay tuned for that. Again, comment below your thoughts on everything. Don't forget to subscribe to the Hello Chicago Network YouTube channel. Every Monday and Friday, we are focusing on Chicago sports at 3:12 Central to honor the great area code of Chicago. So everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy. It's fall. Less than 3 weeks to my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. So hopefully you guys are enjoying as well. I'm Ryan Yannishatis from the Hello Chicago Network. We're the focus of Chicago sports. This will be legit. This is the first time I'm actually putting it on. And now I feel like I'm in the middle of a press conference where they sit and wait. But I haven't tried this on. Looks good. Feels good.